All right. So we are recording tonight so that we can share with everybody. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to try to keep you for very long. I know that we are all very, very busy. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kelly Ratkowski. I am the Director of Program for the Council, and I oversee all of our council's day camps. We have quite a few. It's a lot of fun, and it's really great because I get to visit them all, not just one. So we're going to get started. I believe, let me launch. I've got a quick poll for you guys. Nothing too hard, just something a little fun, get the conversation started. Bill is here. He is our chair for day camp, and he's going to be answering any questions that you guys have in the chat. And if there's anything that Bill doesn't know, I'll be answering those at the end. So here's a quick little poll to get everybody started. And I am going to So I'm just realizing that question 4 was not supposed to be there. I didn't get it deleted before I launched the poll. You can ignore question 4. All right, looks like we've got a pretty good turnout. So thank you guys so much for answering that. I'm going to go ahead and shut the poll down. Looks like we have a huge portion, over half of you guys have never attended day camp. So it's really exciting to have you guys on the call. That's awesome. And I'm hoping that you get a lot out of this and at least get your interest peaked a bit to attend day camp this year, and see what works for your pack, your den, your family. Because you don't have to attend as a pack. You can go to the camp that you want to because that's the camp you want your kids to go to, whether it's the dates that are working for you, the location that's closest, um, whatever it is. It looks like most of you look for the location and the activities are the most important, which I completely understand as somebody who also lives in this area. I know I don't want to drive super far. All right, and I'm looking forward to being able to dive into what your guys' roles are in all of your packs. So thank you for that. I'm gonna go ahead and just close that, and I'll grab that later. All right, so from beginning, just going to share my screen here. And then again, Christy is here as well as one of the panelists. She is the Aquia District Executive. She has been a previous camp director and has gotten herself through a couple of seasons as a district executive at her day camp down in Aquia. All right, let me share my screen. Why is this being weird? Well, we'll just go with that. It's not doing what I want. I'm sorry, guys. I'm usually better than this. There we go. All right, so we'll get started here. So this year's theme for National Capital Area Council is Invention Convention. It is the national theme. So regardless of where you go to day camp throughout the country, you are likely to run into this national theme day camp, this national day camp theme. So why do we want to go to day camp? There's a lot of reasons why we'd want to send our scouts to day camp. I know that it's an exciting time, especially for our lion and tiger cubs, our current lion and tiger cubs, because this might be the first time that they get to experience this. Day camp is very cub centric. So the district day camps provide that opportunity for all Cub Scouts to experience the outdoor program, which is, of course, the heart of scouting. It's what we want to do. We want to get them outside. We want to have them learning new skills, whether if it's part of our range and target activities, if it is some of the STEM activities that our camps offer, if it's getting to swim. Some of our camps do offer swimming. Every camp offers something a little bit different. They're going to get to make new friends because they'll get to meet kids, not just from their own pack, which they might not to get to meet too often because they're all separated by dens, but they're also going to get to meet kids from other packs in the area, or they might see their friends from school who are in the local pack, or who are in a different pack, but still in your local area. They're going to build self-esteem. They're going to have so many opportunities while at day camp to try new things and have that safe place to fail, which is so essential for our young kids today. But to be able to just go out there and try new things, see what works for them. They're going to get to have some teamwork opportunities. Every day there is some opportunities to get to do new stuff, regardless of what it might be. They're going to get to develop those social skills. They are kind of given a little bit of more free range than they would at normal pack meetings or den meetings. There's a lot of opportunity for them to really develop the social skills, interact with not only those kids that they're used to, but other adults that they may or may not know, and also a lot of our older scouts from either Scouts BSA, Venturing, Sea Scouts. They're often out at our camps staffing. This is going to get them away from computers and unplug from that technology, get away from the phones. I have a kid who's still in Cub Scouts, and getting her off of her phone is nearly impossible. I have to take it away all the time because it drives me nuts. And I'm sure some of you guys might be in that boat, especially if you've got older Cub Scouts. They're going to have fun. I can pretty much guarantee you they are going to have fun. They're going to improve their physical health. They're going to have chances to run and jump. All of our camps offer some sort of field games. They are out there having fun and doing great things. And they're going to develop that sense of community. They're going to get to see that it's not just their den, not just their pack in scouting, but they are some part of something that's much larger. There are almost 900 units throughout National Capital Area Council. So getting to see the different parts of all of our what we have to offer in scouting can really open their eyes to, hey, we're part of something much bigger. All right, so district day camps. Our goal is to offer a high quality, age appropriate day camp opportunity. We want to have them conveniently located for all of our Cub Scout families. We try our best to have that happen in every district that we can. Finding a space is not always the most easy thing to do, but we do strive to have them in as many areas as possible. We offer two different types of day camps. So we either have day camp or we have twilight camp. Twilight camp usually happens, they start between anywhere from 4:30 to 6 is when they will start, and they will go someplace around 8:30 to 9 o'clock at night. And it's just, it gives you another opportunity to get out there and get your camp kids to your scouts to the camp that works for them. The duration, anywhere from 3 to 5 days. We only have one 3-day camp and the rest are 5-day camps. Actually, we have a 4-day camp as well. But the 3-day camp is Washington, D.C. They run a little bit different schedule just because that's what works for their location and it's what works for their families. All right. The purpose, we're going to provide a safe outdoor learning experience. We do a lot of vetting of our locations and our staff that are out there at our day camps. Our goal is safety. Very rarely from day camp do we have any major incidents. Even from injuries, like the worst we usually have is like someone scrapes their knee on a typical day camp. It's pretty rare that we have a real incident where anybody needs additional care beyond what our first aiders are able to offer. We do have a first aider at every day camp. It's required by us to be certified. So we do have somebody who's able to provide care at every camp. Yeah. So anyone through Tigers, so Tigers through AOL Scouts are invited to come. Now, if you have a current Lion, they will be a Tiger by June 1st. June 1st is the new rollover. They'll be a Tiger, and they are invited to come to day camp. If you have a current AOL Scout, they will not be able to come to camp, unfortunately, because they will be in Scouts BSA and they'll be ready for going off to Goshen or Snyder Specialty Week, and they'd be bored at day camp. Now, there's some rules that if they really want to staff, we could get them on staff, but there's some rules that they have to follow with that, being under the age of 14. The theme, like I said already, it's invention convention. So every station that is going to get worked into what the Scouts are doing. Whether it's the STEM station or maybe they are at, the nature station, they're going to pull that invention convention theme into everything. It keeps it different from year to year. So we're not repeating the same activities we did last year. Your kids can go to day camp every year from Tiger through, I guess, going into the AOL year. And it's really a great time. I know my kids personally, 3 of the 4 were able to go to day camp every year that they were a Cub Scout. So a lot of fun. All right, so when are our camps? This is our district day camps. So our camps start as early as June 2nd. These are based on when the kids are out of school in that local area. Mattaponi, the kids get out really early, so theirs is June 2nd. Most of our children are probably still in camp or still in school. I know mine are. So as you go down, we try to limit it to about 4 to 5 camps per week, just to be able to offer camping opportunities throughout the summer. We don't want to have them all in the first couple of weeks, and we also don't want them, try to vary it out as much as we can. We also have to work with the locations and what their availability is. So we offer, let's see, is it 5-6 weeks of camps at this point? And that will, we're working on getting it further and further out. There are still 3 camps that are in the works, and we do not have solid dates for yet. So if you're not seeing your district listed, chances are we're working on it. Those camps that we're hoping to be able to offer are 4 Mile Run, Wolf Trap, and actually Washington, D.C. is up there. So maybe Prince William. So those 3 camps. So yeah, it's 4 Mile Run, Prince William, and Wolf Trap are all in the works in the background. We're just not really to the point yet where we can say, yes, this is 100% going to happen. All right. So new for 2025, this is the exciting stuff. If you are a den walker, that is a parent who is not on staff, but is able to come with your unit every day of the week. So you are there for 5 days, or if it's one of our 3 or 4 day camps, you are there all of the days. You're going to receive a free day camp t-shirt. Our day camp t-shirts are themed. They change every year. They are fairly nice shirts. We've been on a tie-dye thing lately. So chances are it'll probably be a tie-dye shirt. We've done red and we've done blue, so it won't be red or blue. But it will go, it'll tie in, it'll say Invention Convention on it. It'll be a very fun shirt. But it's the same one that all the Cubs get. So it's a lot of fun to get to match them, but you will be getting a free shirt if you den walk that entire time that your camp is open. 5-day camps are also going to be offering a new opportunity to Tigers this year, and that is a 3-day option. Now, this is only available to Tigers, so that is those kids going into first grade in the fall. The 3-day option, of course, the prices are prorated, and so the prices are prorated. That option is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this is just so that it allows the parents to have a little bit more time to not take off work. Because I know that is really hard on a family to take off all 5 days. So we're going to offer a 3-day option to Tigers. and Tigers only because they are required a parent. All right. So the cost varies by camp. Depending on which camp you are going to, it can be anywhere from $120 to $200 for that camp. So it really just depends where you're going. All of the day camps, however, their early bird rate early bird rate ends April 15th. So you have to get registered by them. We do offer a sliding scale when you register. So your first payment, more than likely, depending on the camp you're going to, is going to be $50. The day camps are scheduled right now to be opening on December 8th at noon. So all the camps should open that day. And we will have, you can go in there. It's just $50 to get your spot held for you. And then as long as you've made complete payment by April 15th, it will stay at that early bird rate. Our registration site is gotodaycamp.org, and it hasn't been updated yet for 2025, but it will be very soon. We're still working on building it out. Some of the activities that we're going to offer at each district, but it's, like I said, they vary. Archery, BB rifles, slingshots, fishing. Some of ours have Great Lakes where they do catch fish. They do nature, they do handicrafts, scout skills, STEM. Every one of our camps offers a STEM station, aquatics, field sports, and games. And I'm sure that there's other things that I'm forgetting, but there's lots of great opportunities. It keeps the kids out there, keeps them running. And that is it. Do you guys have questions? So it looks like it says, all right. Different. I can absolutely try to send these slides out. Tom, we're just working on, I got to figure out the logistics of how to. This is my first time doing webinars, so I have the list, and as long as I have emails, I will be happy to get that out. And then what was the date the registration site will be open? Registration site will open December 8th at noon. Sorry, just going through the questions here.
Most of them, Kelly, have been answered to some degree. There were a couple of questions that were district specific about start time, heat, and misting tents, heat plan.
Yes.
And just have to find that on the district page when you open up the go to daycamp.org
So
site.
yeah, a lot of the camps do have misting tents because I know some of them get really hot. We have large, like the big Gatorade things at every station that are full of water. Some of our camps do offer either Gatorade, they'll put Gatorade, the powder, into those so that there is one out there so that the kids aren't losing all their electrolytes. We are very cognizant of the heat. We have done things like shorten camps. We've reorganized things to make it so that the kids are not out there in the blazing sun. Yeah, we've got pop-up tents that we put out at the camps so that they have shade for the camps that have less shade. So there's lots of opportunities for them to get cool. We also do a lot of water activities, even if they aren't necessarily going swimming. We have things where we're getting them wet with sponges. There's a lot of weird games where they like put the sponge on your head that's wet and they'll run across the place and stuff like that so that they are trying to keep them as cool as possible.
Kelly, a really good question. What is the parent to scout requirement?
So the parent to scout requirement, we typically go with a 5-to-1 ratio. That does not include tiger cubs. So for every 5 cubs that we're bringing, we need to bring 1 adult. Keeping in mind that those first 5 really require 2 because we have to have our YPT met. So with those 2 adults from that unit, you can get 10 kids in there, if that makes sense. Tigers do not count in that ratio because they have to have a 1-to-1 ratio. Could you repeat? Registration again starts December 8th. Some of our camps do fill, a lot of them have space. So if you can't get in there December 8th to register right away, none of them are going to fill on December 8th. It'd be great if they did, but they likely won't. But they do register. Some of them do fill. If this is a great time. Like if you got grandparents that want to do, hey, Christmas present, they're more into the experience thing than giving them another toy. This is a great thing to send them, be like, hey, send my kid to day camp instead. Um, I know that my family's much more on the experience thing because my kids have everything. They don't need any more stuff. All right.
Kelly, most of the camps fill up during the early bird registration fee or time,
Yes.
and some camps have late registration, but many camps will close down registration a week or even sometimes a couple of weeks ahead so that they can get the supplies on hand and know how
Mm,
many youth and adults
yes.
they have coming.
Yeah, it is really helpful to register early. Because I order all the supplies for all day camps. So if you register late, it's much harder for us to get the supplies and to make sure your scouts are having an awesome time at camp. Victor, uniforms are absolutely not required at camp. And we actually want them to wear their Cub Scout Day Camp t-shirt that we will be giving each of the kids. It's part of their registration. A lot of parents or den walkers choose to purchase them, and those are available until the early bird date. So if you want to be a den walker, you got to register by early bird to get those adult t-shirts. Um, the but yeah, not very many people wear their uniforms out at day camp. It's just too hot. And it's also sometimes kind of messy. And we'd hate for you to ruin your uniform shirt because we're painting or playing in mud or, any number of things that happen at day camp. Typically, one of the things that we say in day camp world is a dirty Cub Scout is a happy Cub Scout. You can tell that they had a great time by how dirty they are. So, absolutely do not wear your uniform. It's not
Kelly, a
needed.
question about what rank do you register for? Uh, the questioner says that their scout is currently a tiger, and will he register as a tiger or the next level?
So he will come as a wolf. Whatever their rank is now, they're going to go up one rank on June 1st, and that's the rank they're going to register for. So even though you're registering now in December, you're going to want to register them one grade level higher. And that is pretty clear in the registration. It'll say like what we tend to put the grade in there as well. I haven't really finished the registration, so I couldn't tell you exactly what it looks like, but usually it says something like what rank/grade is your scout in the fall of 2025. So that way it kind of helps you wrap your brain around where are they? Because I had trouble with that too at one point. Um, we went
So
over
another
the
question, what does a den walker do? How do they spend their day?
Yeah. So den walkers are really there just to kind of maintain, it's kind of that herding cats. You are there to keep your supervision. You might help the camp staff a little bit, but you are not camp staff. Um, they are doing things like making sure that all the kids, hey, did you guys all drink water? Did everybody fill up their water bottles? Um, you are making sure that, it's hot out there. You're giving them that extra attention that the camp staff who's there to lead and facilitate the activities can't necessarily give them. You're that friendly face as well. A lot of the times the kids in your pack, they're going to know you. They're going to want to come to you if there's something going on. They're going to come to you and not necessarily the camp staff.
So there's a related question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this person's pack is very small. Uh, so even if they had multiple scouts coming, they might be all of different grades. Does that impact the den walker requirement or how they get assigned?
Not at all. If you're a small pack and you're bringing a whole bunch of kids from different ranks, that's totally fine. Every camp does kind of do their own thing on how they divide people up, or how they divide the cubs up. Some camps are going to keep you all together as one pack. Other camps like to divide them up by rank so that they can do rank specific things at each station as they go and not have to have the kids working on multiple things all at once. We do try to tailor our activities based on the age range of the kids at the activities. The Webelos are not going to be doing what the Tigers are doing most of the time. They're going to have things where it's like, hey, they might end up with the same project, but the instructions we give to those Webelos are a little bit more technical than what we're giving to the Tigers.
Can you go over again the district camps that are not yet finalized for the December 8th opening for
I'm sorry, say that
registration?
again.
Which districts are not yet finalized on their dates and places for the registration
Yeah.
opening on?
So the ones that we're still working on and hoping to run camps in 2025 are 4 Mile Run, Prince William, and Wolf Trap.
And we have a request from Charles if he can unmute.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I just gotta
Charles
find,
Havacy.
like I said, this is still kind of, there he is. All right. Here. There you go, Charles.
Yeah, hey, thanks for allowing a speaking part. Yeah, I've asked a few questions about the heat plan. Just sort of wonder, like, it keeps getting hotter every year, and I've been to like the one down in by Aquacon, and every year it's like the same plan. You have flags right in the middle of a giant field. You do field sports right in the middle of a giant field. Even archery and slingshots are, right in the middle of a giant, base softball field, whatever. And the climbing wall, the climbing wall last year, it got so hot that poor kids couldn't even touch the thing. So just wonder, like that location is a little hard because it is like a giant open area, but you could like move things towards the tree lines, right? Or, so that you're not like, as the afternoon sun comes, you don't have the sun blazing down on you. You could have flags under the pavilion or by the tree line, right? What are we doing to, at a district level to say, no, not just like have more water and misting pads, but what are we doing to think smartly about where our locations are so that they're in the optimal spots given where the sun is in the afternoon? You know what I mean?
So Charles, I absolutely love that. One of the things that I am working on is a heat plan because this is a couple of years ago, I had to throw together a smoke plan. Never thought I'd have to do that. So we are with last year, it was really hot. So we are working on a heat plan so that we can give those directions out to the camp directors and be like, hey, we need the kids out of the sun as much as possible. They were kind of given that directive last year of get the kids out of the sun. However, they weren't really given the tools to facilitate that or like hey, from this time to this time, make sure they're in the shade. And that is something that we will be working on this year to make sure that they have strong guidelines of, hey, 10 to 2, get the kids in the shade. They need to be out of the sun as much as possible.
Okay, great. Yeah, glad you're thinking about it.
Yep,
think
it
the
is
trend
definitely
it's not
something
going to
we are
get better.
thinking on.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. Hey, thanks for letting me speak.
Of course.
Yeah. Kelly, can you go over the t-shirts again? Tanya is a little unclear on the free shirts.
Yeah.
She asked, are those for adults only?
So for Cub Scouts, all of our Cubs, part of their registration fee, they get a free shirt. They get the opportunity to buy more than one free shirt, but they are given one free shirt. When you do your registration, it'll ask you what size shirt they want, and we do provide those to every Cub Scout. It's actually part of our uniforming requirements is that they are in a Cub Scout shirt every day at camp. It's part of our camp standards. It's part of our security plan. If your kid's in a Cub Scout shirt, we know they're supposed to be there. We do some other things as well, but that is one of the things. They get their free Cub Scout day camp shirt. Sometimes they don't choose to wear that every day. It's a lot of washing, but they're usually pretty okay in it. They can buy a second shirt if they would like to. I do recommend, wearing that shirt every day simply because a lot of our camps do a fun recognition program where they write on the back of their shirt. So if they have like shooting sports, they're going to write, every time they get a bullseye on the back of their shirt, or they'll do like cool archery things. Or I've seen like I've seen fish drawn on the back of their shirt because they caught a fish. I've seen like on the sleeves, it'll say what they got for swimming. Like if they're a swimmer or a beginner or a non-swimmer, and they'll draw a cool picture. So I've seen a lot of cool stuff where they decorate that shirt throughout the week. And if your scout is not in the Cub Scout day camp shirt, they usually do not write on it. Because they'll be in like a pack shirt or something that they're going to wear to like a parade or who knows what they're wearing it to. But we don't want to wreck those shirts. So we like to write on the Cub Scout Day Camp shirts. It's just a fun way to recognize them. For adults, if you are coming as a den walker with your scouts, you have the opportunity to purchase a shirt up until April 15th. After April 15th, the adults won't have that ability anymore. So even if you're not ready to register your kids, if you're planning to come, go and purchase your shirt before April 15th. If you are going to be there for the duration of your camp, you're going to be there Monday through Friday or Friday through Sunday or Monday through Thursday, whatever that specific camp is running. If you're going to be there the whole time, you can, that is part of the registration. You'll let me know that, and you will receive a free day camp shirt. It looks just like the kids' except much bigger. But yeah, it's an opportunity for you guys to, it's fun. And I want to be able to recognize our den walkers a little bit of saying, hey, thank you guys for giving up a week of your free time and coming out and helping us out. And, I know it's a big ask, but, this way we're giving back is where we can.
Kelly, two related questions about camp staff. You said earlier that camp staff are not counted against the requirement for PACs to provide adults as den walkers. So if you have staff from your PAC on staff, adults from your PAC on staff, they are not part of the requirement to provide den walkers.
No, unfortunately, they can't be.
Den walkers in addition to camp staff. Then the second question, I hope that was clear. I hope I didn't step on that. Second question has to do with whether or not the den leader or the assistant den leaders have to be present at Cub Scout day camps. Does it have to be them, or can it be any adult?
No, it can be any adult. So we do want one of, so you're bringing your 10 kids, all right, and you've got your 2 adults. One of them has to be a registered leader. The other one has to be over the age of 21 and they have to take their youth protection training. Every adult on the property has to take their youth protection training. All of our camp staff do it, including our youth over 14, as well as staff. All of the den walkers as well have to be youth protection trained.
So now a question on the buddy system. Is the buddy system required when changing into swimsuits or going to the bathroom?
Yes, but not into the stall. Wherever they're changing, they should get privacy. But, you're going to wait outside that bathroom stall or wait outside of, wherever that private space is. So they should have a buddy to go to the bathroom, even if it's just the porta potties. They are not going into that porta potty with their friend. Absolutely not. Please don't. But wait outside.
So Amanda asks, can a babysitter be a den walker?
A babysitter can be a den walker. Or like the nanny or something, they can be. Again, they have to be over 21 and they have to be youth protection trained. That does exclude tigers. Tigers have it is very clear with the tigers that they must be the legal parent or guardian. You can't even send them with grandma. And these are rules from national that we have to follow in order to run an accredited program.
Going back to t-shirts, can youth or adults wear the PAC t-shirts if they want to?
Yes, you absolutely can wear your PAC t-shirts. A lot of adults choose to wear their PAC t-shirt versus buying one from the day camps.
Okay. Now a different question, a different topic, has to do with paperwork that is to be collected for day camps. Does it have to be in hard copy or can it be submitted electronically to the districts?
It depends on what it is. We are not supposed to collect health forms electronically. Hard copies are required for those. The rest of the forms, it's up to the district. It's up to the district. We are working very hard to get a lot of that stuff. The shooting sports, or I'm sorry, I keep saying shooting sports, the range and target activities, getting those off of, here's a paper thing saying, yes, my kids can do archery. My kids can do BBs. We're putting it into the registration so that when you're giving permission, you can do it in the registration. You don't have to bring in that hard copy. I'm trying to think what other permissions, but any of those permission stuff, we're trying to build it into the registration versus having you bring in a ton of paperwork, having you print it off. I know a lot of us don't have printers anymore. So just being able to provide it that way, making it a little bit easier. The only thing that we absolutely require at all camps is a hard copy of those health forms. And for day camp, they only need A and B. They do not need to complete C. And our den walkers have to provide those health forms as well.
Can I add just a little
Mhm.
bit to that? If a
Absolutely.
youth or an adult is going to be bringing a prescription medication, then the C form has to be signed by a health professional. But if there's no medication being brought to camp, A and B is all that we require.
Mhm.
Right?
I believe so, yes.
Yes. Do we know when the Washington, D.C. camp districts will be ready? And will they be ready by December 8th for early registration?
Yes. Yes, Washington, D.C. Has got their paperwork into me and they are ready to roll. They've booked things, we've signed contracts. I believe we've signed contracts, but they've gotten their paperwork into me, and that's the most important part. So they will be opening on December 8th.
Do we know, can we say in general the kind of paperwork that den walkers will need to provide to the districts?
Yes. Den walkers are required their health forms A and B and their youth protection certification. That is typically all that a den walker needs to apply or bring with them to be able to be a den walker.
A question about range and target sports. Is there any age limitation on scouts participating in these? In other words, can tigers participate in range and target sports?
Generally, yes. I'd have
That's-
to, they keep changing the shooting sports guide. As of today, I think lions cannot, tigers can. Um, and that's a generalization for all sports because it's not, I think lions can do archery. They cannot do BBs. Tigers can do BBs. Tigers can participate in all of them, actually. Yeah, I just have to wrap my head around it. So as of today, yes, they can participate if they're tigers. They keep changing things. I believe we're getting a new I guess it'll be range and target activities guide in June. And we might have to do a quick shuffle of, oh no, we've got new rules. How do we apply these? So as long as there's no big changes to it, we will be able to allow those tigers to, get out there and try something new.
Kelly, where can parents go to find the specific location of the various district day camps so that they
Yeah.
can do comparisons on distance?
So currently, if you go to the gotodaycamp.org website, let me make sure it's still up. We do have I'm going to call it a heat map, even though I know that's not the right word. It is, we've basically put pins for all of our district day camps. Not every camp is on that. We have a few that are new and we haven't added yet. But it does have most of them on there, so you can kind of see where they are throughout our area. I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure they're still right where I think it is. And I might even be able to share my screen.
So while you're doing that, there's a question on where can an adult get youth protection training? And the answer is at my.scouting.org. And if you are already registered with an account on my.scouting.org, you can get youth protection training quite easily. It takes about an hour, as I recall.
Yeah.
But it's very good, and it gets better every year. But my.scouting.org is the place for training.
All right, so I have that website. And again, like I said earlier, it has not been updated for 2025 yet, but it will be very soon. Let's see, here we go. And share. So here is, you can see, obviously last year's theme. We do have a spot where you guys can fill out for financial aid. So if you're like $200 is not within my family's budget, we do offer 50% camperships. So please apply for them. We don't use all of our funds for that every year. So please, if your family is in need, or that, some of the kids in your den's families are in need, please apply for those. We're happy to give them out to those who need them. So we'll put the new stuff up, but this is most of this is about the same. None of this really changes. This gives you the locations here by district. I don't know that we've had any big changes to any of our locations so far this year. There's some new camps that have been added. Washington, D.C. is not being held at Cheltenham. It is at Catholic University this year. But I think other than that, none of them have really changed their location, but not all of them are on here. But here is the map I was talking about. So if you should be able to do this. Also, Frederick will be changing their location, and we're kind of in between two new locations that we're interested in. So I don't know exactly where that one will be, but it'll still be up in Frederick. But yeah, so there's this nice little map that you can use and kind of put on there. Also, like I said, we don't have all the camps on there. Once we do our big update, this will all get changed. So
Kelly has a question for you, and she wants to know specifically about the Prince William camp. Is that run out of Camp Snyder, or is it a different location?
So we are looking to do so Camp Snyder runs a day camp. It is the Camp Snyder Day Camp. I don't actually know the dates on that, but they do have their own day camp that they do amongst a bunch of other really awesome programs for our Cub Scouts and our Scouts BSA throughout the summer. We are looking at offering an additional district level day camp that'll be run by the district volunteers for Prince William. I've been working with our district executive to see if we can find a good location and also those volunteers who want to run it and be involved.
So that you make a good point, Kelly. The day camps are guided by council, but run by trained and certified district volunteers. And that's true regardless of the district that you find yourself. Yeah. Charles has another question.
Yeah, Charles.
You might have to.
Oh, do I have to unmute?
I don't know.
I think he can just unmute himself at this point. There he goes.
Oh, I was typing it in. Thanks for taking the last one. Yeah, if your pack is doing a camp that doesn't work for your family, can your cub get added to somebody else's, pack that is doing the week and location that you want?
Yes, you can absolutely. Families can attend any day camp that they want to. If you want to go with the camp that's closer to your work because it gives you convenient drop off, that is fine. If you want, however it works for your family, you do not need to go where your kid is. However, you do need to, you will have to provide some leadership more than likely. You'll have to work with a unit, let your district camp director know, hey, my kids aren't going where my pack is going. They can work with you to see if they can get you added kind of as a provisional scout to another unit for a couple of days, and then have you, if you can only come on Wednesday to be that day camp director, or not, what is not day camp director, den walker, they can absolutely work with you. But like I said, every camp is different, and it's really a matter of having that communication with your day camp director to make sure that they can accommodate that. A lot of the time they can absolutely do it.
Kelly, a question about financial assistance. Is there an income cutoff on the application?
So, as of right now, no. We are working on parameters to make sure that we are doing it fairly to have that income cutoff. However, even with that, we look at extenuating circumstances. Like there have been many people where you look at that form and we see, yes, they make quite a bit of money, but this is what they're going through. And this is going to provide that opportunity to the kid to have that outlet. So we are compassionate, I guess I'll go with, on selecting people who are, if you have extenuating circumstances and a high income, we're going to take that into account. We're not just going to be like, well, it's not a hard and fast. Nope.
On the list, there's a Prince George's camp site listed. The question is that in Maryland?
I believe it is. It is at something Pond Park. Sorry, I don't have these memorized. If you give me 2 seconds, I can give you the exact location. I just got to pull it up here. I was just working on it. Sorry, lots of little clicks here. All right, the Prince George's Day Camp doesn't tell me from right here. Let me go in here. Sorry, that took
Victor
longer.
later points out that he did not see the Prince George's site on the old map.
It's in Bowie. Yes, and that one was done after we built that. That one was added last year. It was pretty small camp last year, but also a very fun. I heard nothing but rave reviews from it, and I'm not just saying that because, I have the job I do. They actually had a really great time, and it's the camp that we were able to get our Scouting Cares kids out to. So that was a great opportunity as well for those kids who don't normally get those kinds of opportunities. It is at Allen Pond Park.
There was an earlier question, Kelly, about how folks can see or get a copy of the slides that you used tonight.
Yeah, let me see if there's a way that I can easily, otherwise, I don't know if there's an easy way for me to drop them. I will be sharing this video, as well as the slides. I just haven't figured out exactly where, but they will be available. And then as long as I got everyone's emails, which I believe was part of the registration process, it'll come directly to your email, and it'll be posted somewhere as well.
I think that between you and Christy and I, we've caught up with the questions that have been submitted. So this is an opportunity to get additional questions before we shut down.
I'm just going through and looking through all of these questions. I'm a little unclear on the free shirts. I believe I answered that one. No. So, Michelle, just because I'm reading through your question now, that list will be provided in the registration as well. You're going to get a whole bunch of stuff as well as if there's anything camp specific, once you've registered and it gets closer to camp, your camp directors will be in contact with you and make sure you have all the paperwork and everything that is required by that camp. So like the registration is kind of general, gets you registered, and then your camp directors will start sending emails, either to whoever the registration contact is. So you will get more information, not just what I'm telling you. But once you register, you get a lot more information. That's camp specific.
Kelly, I think you've caught up.
Yep. I'm just looking through. Does anybody have any other questions? Tom, you're very welcome. Thank you guys so much.
Here's a question. If a scout gets a free camp as part of the popcorn sales, how do they get instructions on how to apply that to day camp?
So it looks like Christy's typing you an answer, but I'll talk as well. So eventually you'll get an email, a little code emailed to you. And that goes into the very bottom of the registration. There will be a spot to enter that code. There'll be 2 different spots. One will say like popcorn vouchers, and the other one will say like camper ships. You can, depending on what kind of code you got, you'll know it comes in the email. You just go ahead and put it in there, and it takes care of that fee for you. But yeah, it makes it really, really easy. And it's just a little code you put into the bottom of your registration.
Kelly, is before camp daycare and after camp daycare available at our district camps?
No, generally no. I don't know if any of our camps are offering that. A lot of our camps start kind of early. but generally, no. It says, but most DC camps. So DC is doing a different thing to accommodate those families by only running on Friday. So, or well, they're running 3 days, but during the work week, we're only running on Friday, and then it's a Saturday and Sunday camp as well. All right. Thank you so much, Charles. You have a great night.
All right, thanks,
I
bye.
think you're caught up.
Awesome. Any other questions, you guys? I'm here. I want to answer them and make sure you guys are all ready. So one of the things I'm going to do as a follow-up from this meeting is also send out an FAQ to everybody, as well as the registration link. And I'm just going to keep you guys engaged and up to date on any of the things that are going on. If anybody is interested in being camp staff, please reach out to your district executive. They can get you in contact with your camp director directly. We're always looking for camp staff. If you're like, hey, I heard this district, if you're interested in running a camp, let us know. We're always looking for new people. Most of our camps are well staffed, but yeah, it was, if any of you guys, are interested in helping out, let us know. We're happy to engage you in some way and find the right fit for you.
Scott asks about the Wolf Trap District. Do we know if Wolf Trap is having a separate day camp, or will they be doing
So-
theirs at Snyder?
We are working on planning it, and Wolf Trap is actually one of our really exciting camps. The current plan that we have in the works for Wolf Trap is to be doing a STEM-based camp. So we're doing invention convention, and though they'll be following that, their camp is going to be heavy in the STEM. Every station that they have is going to be STEM based. Now they might still be, we don't have their location nailed down yet. I'm actually having a meeting on Thursday to see where we can go with this. But if we can get it off the ground running, our STEM professional here at council is heavily involved in it, as well as their district executive. And it won't be at Snyder. Hopefully it'll be, we're looking at what is actually within the district, so that we can offer a really unique program for Wolf Trap. So I'm very excited for their program, but we were still working on sussing it all out and making sure we know what we can do there.
You're all caught up.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for attending. We've got one more question popping in. So cool. Thanks. Of course, you are so welcome. I'm really excited. I hope to see you guys all out at camp this year. If you see me running through, please say hi. I'm usually just kind of walking around, looking at things. I'm only there for a day at each camp, but I'm always happy to say hi. I'm not as grouchy as I look at camp. I promise. It's just hot. So I'm a Minnesotan girl. I don't do hot. So, but yeah, any other questions, comments?
Kelly, thank you very much for all that you
You
do
are
for
so
scouting
welcome.
and for our Cub Scouts. You did a great job tonight, and
Thank
thanks
you,
to
Bill. I
everybody who
really appreciate it.
participated. Yep.
All right. Well, if you guys are all free to go. Oh, we got a couple more questions popping in. Just thanks. You guys are welcome. Have a great night. I look forward to seeing you guys.